kiss hello and mouth the words I love you. But when you acted like you didn't know me, I thought my heart would break in two. Yeah, yeah. You were such a warrior as we fought side by side. Steady moving up the ranks, I bragged about you all the time. Yes, I did. Everybody's hero, but you gave up the fight. Now what I see is another soldier down. Another soldier down, yeah. Needing us to pray instead of talking of the situation and looking the other way.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Another week. Welcome back, guys. I missed you. I got a great show planned for you tonight. Some very, very intriguing and interesting topics. A few from the webpage, our Facebook marketing, and a few more, one more big one that we're going to dive into. But before we get started, I'd just like to welcome to the cave tonight my good friend, Reverend Horace Weems. He's a part of our, staff and organization here. And my buddy here, Javon, go tell this Gregory. He's a part of the SUT organization as well. So we're all brothers in this thing tonight. First of all, we've had a couple of, topics that we kind of wanted to address tonight in the Man Cave. Some women especially asked these questions here, and I thought, the fellas, we'd kind of take a stab at it and see if we could do anything with these questions to help our females out before we go into helping out the community. The female asked me, why do men stop doing things they did to get the girl? Things like taking her out on dates and hanging out and kicking it and, being romantic. And then once he gets her, all of those things stop. Well, I don't know, guys. Now, I kept it kind of simple myself. Now, y'all can tell me what y'all think about it. And now, this is men talking now. I think that once you conquer the mountain and you put your flag on top, you don't need to conquer the mountain no more. Now you need another mountain to climb. Now that's the simple of it. Now there might be some other things that y'all can think of, but this is men talking now. Once you climb that mountain, well, you don't really want to climb it no more, I guess, or the novelty of the challenge of climbing it wore off once I climbed it. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Y'all can tell me what y'all think, man. Now we had some different comments about it. I don't really remember what they was. All I know is, once I conquered the mountain, that's one of the reasons. Like last week, we were talking about a lot of old-fashioned values. If we teach our daughters to be a lot more conservative and live at a higher standard, that mountain won't be conquered until she's got a ring on the finger. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Right. I agree with that.
So, but in today's climate, we're dealing with a different mentality that, the whole idea of the man cave is to address these type of issues and see if there's some things we can do and reach out. And we're actually planning on going out in the community and creating some programs that can actually touch lives. But just for the sake of talking tonight, we want to kind of dive into a couple of things. But what do you guys think about that? I want y'all to weigh in on this.
Well, for me and myself personally, I have never stopped. I may not do it to the degree of in which I did during the courtship phase, but I haven't stopped because personally, I believe you must maintain some level of interest and excitement in your relationship. But the reason why I stopped, once you dive deep into your relationship, your responsibilities change. Mm-hmm. And what a lot of ladies don't understand, the moment we get you and we got you, it went from being mine and hers to ours. So I can't no longer take that extra dough I had and spend on us. I got to look out for the sanctity of ours, our house, our bills, because
yeah, bro, but you taking it to another level now. We ain't necessarily talking about, at least that's not the understanding I got from the question. She wasn't talking about when you take it to that ultimate level.
She trying to figure out why
they've
been dating 2 months and all of a sudden he ain't bringing no more flowers.
Yeah. That's what I got out of it now, bruh.
Where in her case, or in that case, what did you stop doing? We got to take stock in ourselves first. And a lot of people don't do that. What happened or what has changed in the course of the relationship, aside from y'all just being committed couple?
Because sometimes, they don't mind cooking us a nice dinner to get us over to the house, after a long, hard day work, and every brother appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
So you cook me a nice dinner, yeah, quite natural, I'm going to bring you some flowers. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you stop cooking,
no flowers.
With relationships that I've had in the past, I dove in heavy and hard. And I think sometimes men, we dive in heavy and hard, we give more, and we need to just take it easy and just kind of slide in. Not the word slide is not the right word, but take it easy. Don't, if you put a whole lot in, by the time 3 or 4 months go down the road, you're trying to reinvent something, or you're trying to find something else to do. Take it easy. Let it be a 50-50 thing when you're giving in the beginning, because I fizzle out sometimes. I just fizzle out, and then when I don't see anything coming back,
yeah,
hey,
I'm just sitting there.
And see, she asked the questions because she's saying that when the guy stops doing those things that he did to get her, she gets bored. And based on what you just said, well, you get bored first. So now everybody getting bored here because the mountain done been climbed. So, which actually is a great segment into the next, question or comment that I wanted to talk about. In our relationship department on our site, someone said, is being in the friend zone like the kiss of death? Well, okay. First question is, why the guys stop doing the things they did to get you once they got you? Now the question is, being in the friend zone like the kiss of death. They kind of seem synonymous there. They running together. And my thing is, if I'm going to settle in for the winter, so to speak, I think I would rather do it with a friend than with a foe.
That's right.
I don't want somebody that I'm always got to compete with or I'm always debating and fighting with. I want someone that's not necessarily agreeable with me all the time. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone that's going to keep me intellectually stimulated, keep a certain level of mystery, in my mind about who she is, yet at the same time, allow me to feel equal to her, where we can explore that level of intimacy, because intimacy is all about trust.
Yeah.
Intimacy ain't nothing to do with the physical. Intimacy is about two people that truly trust each other with their heart, because your heart is your most valuable asset.
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
if I'm in that friend zone, I don't necessarily think that's the kiss of death. I think that's where I want to be, is in that friend zone. I want to be connected with a friend. Now, I'll say this, guys, before I let y'all have it. In my younger years, that wasn't that important. She just had to be fine. And if she fine, she a friend. Because I always had motives.
Yes.
It was difficult to be friends with a fine honey because I had motives in my younger years. But now in these years here, my motives are different. I want to be with someone that I actually can talk to. It's not about us always agreeing. It's not about us having everything in common. It's about us being able to openly communicate and experience a relationship based on equality.
I hear you. I understand.
Equality establishes a certain level of trust that we can trust each other with, with everything. Now that's just my take on, What you guys got anything?
Well, by me being the youngest here on this panel tonight,
Okay.
I can tell you from a young man's mentality. When you hear friend zone,
Yeah.
like you said, in your younger days, you had motives. And being a friend to someone that was fine made it difficult because you didn't approach her to be her friend. Right. You didn't approach her. You didn't start talking to her. You didn't buy her that drink at the bar. so you can be the friend that she called when Joe Blow and Tommy Backdoor done broke her heart.
Mm.
You was hoping maybe you was Joe Blow front door. Which is why being in the friend zone to a lot of young gentlemen is a kiss of death, because they don't want to necessarily hear your problems with the next man.
Mm.
They don't want to hear about your day and the good time you had with, oh, such and such you met, because in those ways they want to be that such and such you went out with. Because they don't look at it from that mentality. Like you said, when you get older, your values change, but when you're younger, you're just looking for the hunt. It's the thrill. And you get put in the friend zone, you automatically get taken off the hunt. You get put on the bench. And you didn't go to play on the bench. You wanted to get in the game. You went to go play. And she told you from the door, sit down.
You on the bench.
Automatically. You didn't have a choice. You didn't do something wrong.
You know what?
You just got set down.
Even right now, I don't think I like the bench now.
But
I don't think I ever liked the bench.
But as a young man, when you hear that term, that's what it means. That means the late night phone calls when something went wrong. Oh, that's my little brother.
Nah, yeah.
That's the
I
one
see
you
what
call
you're
to
saying.
help move.
Yeah.
That's the friend zone for a lot of younger guys that they don't like. You just call me when you need something. But you'll call that other guy at 3 in the morning when you need some extra attention.
Yeah.
But you'll call me when your bill's short.
Yeah.
Friend zone.
Woo! Man. Yeah. I guess at this point in my life, though, I don't mind being in the friend zone. It's hard to really consider that for real, because when you always wanted to be a player, that's not saying that I was never on the bench. I don't want to make that point. No, we all got experiences of being on the bench, experiences of being in the game. Yeah. Most of us rather be in the game until you get to know them sometime, and then you be like, whoa, I think I'll ride the bench for a while.
I think I'm gonna walk off the team.
You know what I'm saying? So I do. What you think about that, Real?
Well, Gary, I got a little twist on that tape. Because when I was growing up, I was a friend to a lot of girls. And I guess because I was around a lot of older men, and that made a little difference for me, because I tried to respect women and let them be who they are. Although I'm not gonna lie, the inside of me had some other desire.
So you had to motive.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You had motive. Okay,
So, But I had to learn somewhere that everybody's not gonna be what I want to be for me. And so when I found that out, I had to learn that you really gonna be a friend, because there's some things that I see that I don't like. Like, I'll tell you, for instance, I went to a girl's house, and I really wanted to be with her until her mother brought the shotgun out.
That made you a friend real quick, didn't it?
But, as you grow older and you start seeing things and you listen, you start listening, then you start saying, okay, I got to slow my roll.
And that's why that question in itself is a younger person's question.
Well, remember, we're building a bridge here to deal with and to minister to our young brothers out there, especially ones that seem to be lost and we don't know exactly how to find them. Me personally, I haven't given up on them. So that's the idea of the man cave, where men can come together, get on one accord, and some understandings about life in general. That's why little questions like this, it's important. I don't know. Growing up, when I was young, I didn't really have anybody to talk to and give me any wisdom, about life and how to deal. And so, so I feel very fortunate to still be here, because I've made my mistakes.
A lot of men are missing that, right? The element.
I guess I can honestly say I was blessed in that department, because I did have older males around me that made sure I went to school. When I didn't have money to buy my MARTA card, they made sure I had it to get back and forth to school. And like you said, the whole purpose of this program is to bridge the gap. And like I said, the reason why in my thought process, that's a younger man's question that needs to be established and mentored to, because you hear that out of younger people's mouths. Like I said, I'm 30, so I hear it out of people's mouths younger than mine.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, when you get older and you understand the meaning of being a friend, you get to know that person on a different level.
Mm-hmm.
You get to have a conversation. You get to know the ins and outs. You get to know the mentality. You get to know the thought process of that person, in which you had really physical desires for. You get to know them on a whole nother level, and you get to understand how compatible you truly may be.
I like to emphasize one more time before we leave this subject that intimacy is not necessarily physical. Intimacy, the physical part of it is a build-up, or that might be sometimes the end result, but intimacy is that place that you can get in with another person where you completely trust them, they completely trust you, and you can open up your heart to them. And I know women will get there a lot quicker than guys do, most of the time, because we have this protection of pride going on that sometimes won't allow us to be intimate. And an intimate relationship is also one that's equal. Equal relationships means that I can trust you for who you are, and I know that you can trust me for who I am, and we have an exchange. That's intimacy. And when we go from that place to the place of being physical, or hopefully, maybe getting married, well, that's a relationship that started out as friends, and it grew from there. So that's what this is about. We want to kind of dispel some of the misinformations that most of us, grew up with, So the next thing we want to take a look at is something that's really vitally important that as a nation, we're going to have to find a way to put our hands on this issue. I mean, literally touch it and create some changes. We had a meeting a few days ago with our coordinator of this program we call Project P. We were talking quite a bit about the issues of violence in our communities and how we have kids now that might be 13, 14 years old and younger that they're not certain they're going to make it to 20 years old. And it's a very real reality, because when we look at Chicago and certain parts of Atlanta and other major cities, our kids are killing each other seemingly by the masses. In Chicago, not only did the little girl that was a part of the inauguration ceremony get killed like a week later, right there, a block from her home, which I think was only a mile or a few blocks from where the president's home is actually located. 2 weeks ago, another little girl got killed in the same manner in this same area. Now, this is Chicago. The statistics are off the chain. If anyone knows the statistics out there and want to call into the show, the number's on the screen. Please feel free to call us. We'd love to hear from you. But we have some alarming statistics and a situation here that's brewing, and, well, it's boiling over. We have got to do something about it. And we know that a lot of issues that are happening right now is starting from the position of kids being bullied, in school. I think everybody can probably, even my big guy here, is going to have some stories relating to being bullied. And I don't know, bullies probably come from a circumstance where they were bullied. So there's some, I'm emphatic to both sides of the coin there, that, there's reasons for both of them happening. But what are we going to do here? Bullying creates a mental illness. It creates a level of depression. It creates a level of depression that causes kids to not only neglect their schooling, but it takes so many of them to the level of suicide.
Yeah.
When I was coming up, I'm older than you. I think you might be a little bit older than me. Age is not important. But when I was coming up, yeah, there was some bullies, but, I don't remember it being quite this crucial. But then I could have been living on a certain level of denial. I don't know. But wow, guys, this is a tough one here. We want to love all our kids, including the bullies. So what do we do here to address this?
Well, like you said, with the changes from the generations, from us three here, what the Reverend experienced as far as bullying in his day, and what you experienced and what I experienced progressed. Because in my time, as far as bullying, we got jumped on. We had kids getting their shoes taken at the bus stop, their jackets taken in the winter. I'm pretty sure we've all at some point in time had their bike stolen. But I've actually had my bike stolen at the park while I was on it. And there was nothing I could do about it.
Well, before you go any further now, that don't sound like bullying. That sounds like robbery.
No, and when I say bullying, it was by kids 2-3 years older than me.
Okay.
That stayed in my neighborhood, that knew that I, at that time, wasn't going to be the aggressive. I wasn't going to defend what was mine. I wasn't going to fight back.
Okay.
Because I had been so chastised by being larger all my life that it was wrong for me to fight back. That if I hit somebody my same age, I was wrong. The issue never really got taken in hand, that it didn't make a difference about size. We're the same age and who's truly been the aggressor. And the one way to truly address the problem is to understand, like you said, where is it coming from, what's going on, what's causing these bullies to be bullies, and these kids that are being bullied. Because the kids that get bullied, like you said, it creates a state of depression.
Yeah.
They feel a certain way. They don't look at themselves the way they should. They think they're inferior in a lot of ways. And in a lot of cases, in a lot of homes, they can't go talk to their parents. They can't go talk to their brother, their sister. Because I know when I addressed my brother as a young child, I got called a punk. My brother told me, "You punk, you better go get it back. You need to go fight. You need to go take back what's rightfully yours." And I did. I picked up the biggest stick that was around, and I hit all 5 of them. Now, as a grown man, that wasn't right. As a kid that was being bullied, picked on and fed up, I struck back. And the problem is with what I did as I'm a grown man now, I didn't know what these kids was dealing with. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was happening in their home. I didn't know what was going on with them. I never once thought to address them as a person other than this bully.
You got any experience in this, Ray?
Oh, I do. One thing I note is that in a lot of households, when I was growing up, you saw in some households, rather, where the father would bully on the mother. Okay? And in most cases, in my personal experience, these were impoverished families. And the mother was not strong enough to do anything. And in that, when a son or a daughter sees that, they kind of take that role from that person who's doing the advocating of being a bully. And it rolls over into their life, and they begin to play that role out. And not necessarily knowing exactly what they're doing, but as time goes on, they notice they have a certain power that certain people don't mess with. And in my time, I saw that happen so many times. What I know we lack is we don't have anybody who would listen to kids a lot. You know, we sometimes come off as, I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes we don't need to know what we're talking about. We just need to have an open ear and a compassionate heart and understand that sometimes they don't even know what they're talking about. They're just trying to get to something, and you have to figure it out and help them figure it out.
So you're saying it's okay not to always have the answer.
It's everybody. We don't have the answer for everything. We don't.
Because as men, we like to have the solution to the problems of our family, our girl, wife, whatever she is, our kids. We want to be the ones to have the solution to whatever their problem is.
True.
But as I mature spiritually, I realize it's okay not to necessarily know the answer.
And that's part of being a man enough to say, you know what, I don't have the answer. I might not necessarily understand your problem, but like Reverend said, I'm going to sit down and listen to you, and maybe we can work through a solution together. Because guess what? Like I said, I was blessed to have older men around me. I was blessed to have men when I became a teenager that saw me through school. But 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, oh no, it was Big Brother. Went through a tumultuous time in my own family, separation of the household. So at that point in time, when I was really going through it, only people I had to talk to was, hey, I had a cousin my age. But guess what? My cousin was 3 feet shorter than me. He was getting bullied himself. So we two people getting picked on, and we talking to each other. And there was necessarily nobody around that listened or anybody that wanted to listen, because we got labeled as the troublemaker because we were always retaliating. It was never understood, well, why are y'all doing that? That question never got asked. It was already assumed, well, y'all in something again, so y'all did it. No, come talk to me and see why I did what I did. Come understand that for 2 weeks straight, Tommy has been plucking me in the back of the ear. He's been jabbing me with a pencil in my back. So this 13th day of class, I turned around and smacked the crap out of Tommy. Now I'm the bad guy. No, Tommy been doing this. I done told you, teacher. I tell you every day, every time. Then you get told, don't tell. Or as I say nowadays, stop snitching.
So in other words, the administration of the school, the teachers and principals are having their own, issues with learning how to deal with the bullying crisis.
Because there is no set standard. But please go ahead, Rev.
No, go ahead. No.
There is no set standard. There is no thing or set outline that necessarily works for everybody. Like Gary said, we was in our Project P meeting, and a lot of things we discussed. It's so encompassing that we already know everything doesn't work for everybody. And it got referenced back to cancer. Not everybody responds to the same treatment. And one thing is, men, we have to understand, we don't have the answer, but hey, I ain't got it. I'll sit down and listen. And we can work to it together. We have to get away from this and come together on this subject. Because it's all our kids.
You know what, guys, I think it's going to be a great idea for us to have some kids here that we can actually talk to and hopefully get them to, open up and talk about, the things they go through and what they might not, really understand and don't mind talking about. I think that'll be some growth for this process and this programming. One of the things, too, you would think as adults that are paid professionals to oversee kids, such as your teachers, principals, and the rest of the administration at your schools, that they would have some idea about how to deal with this issue, at least the surface of the issue, if no more. But, it seems like the professionals don't even know what to do.
There is no manual. There's no book that you can read that's going to tell you how to deal with a book. Now, I go to some schools and I cry because I have to watch these kids do certain things, and a teacher wants to come in and educate and not deal with other issues. A lot of teachers in the school system are young and don't know how to deal with it because primarily they haven't dealt with that particular issue in their life.
True.
So, and another part about listening and saying I don't have the answer is we can find the answer in somebody else who's gone down this same road. Pairing, what you're doing with this show is you open up an avenue where that men can say to another man, I got this problem over here with my son, and I don't have a solution. What do you think about this problem? And just by happenstance, they may have a solution that may fit you. What you're doing is you open up a whole arena where men can come and congregate with each other with their sons and say, listen, between the 10 of us, we can figure out something that's going to work for you. You know, in the school system, I know a principal. He loves his students, but he only can do so much. He's limited, and you know, it's hated to say it, but the biggest thing they can do is expel you, suspend you, and we get nothing done.
It sounds like we're expecting them not only to teach our children, but we're expecting them to parent our children.
Oh, yes.
Well, you know, that gets a little offset there. You know, that's putting them behind the 8 ball, under the truck, however you want to put it, you know, because, well, some of them might not necessarily be the best parents. But they're good at their profession because they went to school and they studied their job, so they're good at teaching and educating. But they weren't put there to parent and educate. They were only put there to educate, but now they're stuck in the role of parenting.
Yes, true. Because I've been in classrooms as a student in high school where 30 minutes of the 90-minute instructional time was taken up dealing with a class clown. Now, for the other 22 students in the class, they just missed out on 30 minutes of their education for one student, one outbreak.
That's right.
And you factor that in throughout the school year, our children are missing out on hours of valuable educational time for one disruption. And that's not taking into account the whole bullying factor. That's not taking into account during class, this kid picking up another kid, or the kid that started skipping this period, or the kid that didn't want to come to school, or the kid who parents took them to the bus stop, went to work, and this kid doubled back and went home.
And you have to ask yourself, why would he double back and go home? Why didn't he want to go to school?
Because somebody was bothering him to the point where he or she didn't express it. And I've known children like that.
And he felt threatened.
He felt threatened. He felt threatened. Like Reverend said, I spoke at Corn Middle School to wannabe gang members. And I say wannabe because realistically, they know nothing about it. They know people in their neighborhood. They're seeing it. Yeah, I'm affiliated. And the realization is this. Y'all in the 8th grade in middle school, and y'all not reading on the 8th grade level. Y'all reading at a 5th grade level, so you latching out. You're latching on to somebody that's showing you a little inch of attention. Like Reverend said, and like you came to the conclusion, we want our teachers to be parents. No, parenting starts at home. Your teachers teach. And the moment we get these parenting issues or these discipline problems, or however you classify it, and identify them outside the classroom, we can get our children back to learning. And it all comes back to open line of communication.
Yes, it does.
No parent, no mother, no father should ever feel like, well, I can't deal with you. I'm going to ship them off, and that's an easy avenue now. Well, I can't do nothing with you. I'm going to ship you off somewhere. Why are you shipping your child off? That's your child. You had that child. You made that child. Now, yes, a lot of parents are in it by themselves, and they didn't ask for that. That's not what they went into. That's not the bargain.
But then some of them do. Some of them want to be so prideful and so and they'll use the kids as a way to lash out at the other partner that helped them create the family. And there are situations where, who was it telling me that in this state, if you're not married to the woman when she has your child,
you don't have no parental rights as a father.
Even though you sign your name on the birth certificate,
doesn't mean
you still have no rights as a father in this state.
No parental rights.
And she can use that as a means of, use that as a weapon against you,
Mm-hmm.
and the only person really getting hurt is the child.
It's the child.
And then we sit back and wonder, why do they want to lash out and be, a part of the gang, or be bullies, or not know how to really defend themselves? There's so many issues that they're seeing at the home, in the home environment, that they don't know how to adjust to life.
True. So true.
We had a saying when I was growing up. Quite, we're all familiar with this. It takes a village to raise a child.
Amen to that.
And one thing that I know in our communities is we don't have communities.
No,
it takes a village, Real, but everybody trying to leave the village and get out to the country, to the suburbs, because they think that the village is not, I guess, politically correct or socially acceptable anymore. So they want to get out to the suburbs where there's a big house and no one barely speaking to you, and where they do that at?
Okay. What I was going to say is that our structure of family and community has been broken. Where it was broken, we don't know. But what we do know is that if a family is not together, and I mean if they don't socialize together, then you're going to have a whole lot of different attitudes. I mean, you're going to have attitudes anyhow, but you're going to have some outright attitudes. You're going to have some kids and mothers and fathers who really going to not agree on anything. And then you have kids, that's where we seek other people and other misinformed people, our peers. What can I learn from a 13-year-old? I'm 13. And what can I learn from you? I can learn that I need to go home and learn something from my father. But we don't have the fathers stepping up to the plate. And in most cases, we don't have a mother being a real mother. We got mothers to bring. I better not go there. But it is what it is.
Another show.
It is what it is. And so we got these young boys growing up, and they have nobody to emulate behind. They have nobody to look up to. And who they're really looking up to? The rap stars, the gang members,
ball players. Because
the fathers are either they're balling, They come home, make the money, whatever, and then on Friday night they go out and leave the mother at home.
And you don't see them the Sunday. And you know what, Rev? I'm so glad you made that point, because I promise you, just yesterday I was at work. I do security for a living at different apartment complexes, and this particular complex I'm at has a curfew. I begin to go enforce the curfew, and as customary, these kids get the you fat blankety blank, this, that, and the third, and other this and other that. And after I ran off the older children, 16, 17, 18, I had a group of about 5 boys, ranging from, I'm going to give them 10 to 12. And when I started talking to them, and I asked them, I said, why are y'all socializing with these 16, 17, 18-year-old kids? Well, they cool. I said, but what do y'all talk about? What do you know about them? Well, I just know they come around here. Do they stay in this complex? Well, no. What's their name? I don't know. I said, so if the police showed up right now and arrested all y'all, took all y'all down, what would you be able to say about that person you were just talking to? Oh, nothing. I said, that's my point. I said, the people you were just talking to have already been arrested. They've already had legal issues. And I'm not saying they're bad kids. I'm just saying 16, 17, 18, if they ain't telling you to get in the house and they ain't making sure you've done your homework, or they're not doing anything productive with you, you need not be around them. Because guess what? I'm 30, and I'm 30 talking to you. I sit there and talk to those kids for 45 minutes to make them understand. I'm not here to rain down on your parade. I'm not here to stop your fun. It's for your safety, because guess what? You stay here, they don't. If all the children that stay here go in when they're supposed to, something go wrong, then y'all are not faulted. Mm-hmm. And that's a simple understanding back to the issue of segueing back to the bully, the issues, and the demographics, and the other outstanding issues behind it. Because everything we just touched on and everything we just named leads to a bully. Mm. It leads to a person being picked on. Because let's be honest, way back when, 50s, 60s, when there were a full family structure, mm-hmm. yeah, you had bullies, but somebody was taking your nickel for your milk money. Then as things start to change and we start to evolve and we start to generate a little bit more money, generate a little bit more income, but it became a little different. Mm. Then you get to my day, and it's totally changed. And today we got these kids killing each other. Yeah. And I'm not saying children didn't die when I was in school. I'm not saying we didn't have our own social ills and issues just like y'all had of y'all day. Mm-hmm. But at no point in time have our children erased each other off the face of the earth the way they do now. And I do mean erase, because guess what? Every life that gets taken is a life that's gone. We don't know what doctor, what lawyer, what president, what Fortune 500, what innovative thinking has just got taken away from us. And it's not just black community, it's the society as a whole. But we understand as black men and men of the world, it never really becomes a true issue until it hits our counterparts.
Right. The mainstream. Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. We've been dealing with these issues for years. Yeah. Like I said, I'm a victim of a product of bullying. And I tell anybody that ever sees me in the street, anybody ever want to tell and talk to me about it. To this day at 30, I still got issues. And I'm smart enough to recognize where it came from. That's why I can tell you that depression is real when the kid is getting picked on. It's real because that child can't understand why somebody's constantly messing with me. What did I do to them? Yeah. What did I say? What is it about my appearance, my dress, my hairstyle, my clothes, the way I talk, the way I walk, the way I look, that is driving this person to every other day want to fight me, pick at me, knock my stuff down, take my stuff, chase after me, get his friends to come jump and fight me every day.
Because one of the basic necessities of any life is a feeling of security.
Yes.
When that feeling of security is threatened or taken away, it takes away it's like taking away air. It's a basic necessity to feel secure, and as a child, you have to have a feeling of security. So when you leave home every day and you go out into the world, you go to school, you got to feel secure enough to sit there and listen, and be taught and learn and study and so forth. But that basic feeling of security has been compromised. Well, that kind of puts loopholes, if you will, in every other area, of your existence, And
the foundation is solid.
The foundation has been shaken, Wow. It's a lot to think about, guys. And this is not a topic that's going to be a one-time, topic for the Man Cave. We're going to bring this particular topic back again. I don't know, maybe next week, depends on how the flow of things go. I kind of feed off of, the comments and statements that are made, throughout the week on our networking website and Facebook and so forth. But this is an issue here that whether it's talked about or not, it's got to be addressed. And we're going to have to find a way to, I like what Javon is doing when he actually takes the time to talk to these kids, because now you're establishing a rapport and a relationship with them where they'll actually listen to you, because you've shown them, based on what you said, that you really care. You know, I don't know. I think a lot of them, that's what they're looking for. Someone to show them, you know, that we care. We had the opportunity this past weekend to go out to a local orphanage, and it was such a wonderful time spending with those kids. And one of the things that I realized is in this situation, these kids had such wonderful attitudes about life, and they were so pleasant. I don't know, maybe they hid the roughnecks. I don't know. But the ones that we were exposed to were incredibly kind. We played basketball with them. I got ran over, and I got shown just how old I am, and I got to get back on the court, guys. But it was just a wonderful time, and I'm looking forward to another opportunity to go and spend time with them. And one of the things I left with them is the same thing I'm going to leave with my audience tonight, is that I want kids to understand that they're unique just the way God made them.
That's right.
We were born in the image that he wants us to be in. That image is spiritual. It's not physical. We are all his spirits. We all have special gifts. We have passions. When we find our passion, we find our way through life, when we can accept it. And as we grow older and mature, we learn more facts about ourselves. Life starts and ends with me. It's a spiritual journey that I'm on. This is all temporary. This is not the permanent stop. I have to learn that my life is a life of service. I was born to be of service to mankind, to my community, to my family. My life is not just about me. I have to understand that. When I get wrapped up in thinking everything revolves around me, I always get in trouble.
That's right.
No relationship can grow in a healthy way when one person is focused on what can you do for me. It's got to be what can we do for each other, or what can I do for you. Serving God is no particular activity, but it's a state of consciousness under which all my activities should be performed. I live a life of service. That's what this whole thing is about. Getting back to the basics. It's not about me, me, me. Love is the first principle. We got to find love within ourselves before we can give it to anyone else. That's what everything I'm open up about tonight, talking about tonight, is a way of showing love, is a way of giving love back. You guys understand,
I agree,
what I'm saying?
I agree.
This is a ministry. This is a mission of love. We love our kids. We got to find a way to keep them safe, let them be in an environment where they can learn.
Right. Grow.
Just like the president say, the future depends on the kids, how well we can educate them, how well we can get them advanced in the world of technology, how well we can get them advanced in the world, period. Just like you said, Javon, all these early childhood deaths, who knows what gifts have been taken out of the world already, you know? I mean, this is incredible. We got to do something. It ain't about us sitting up here talking about it, doing a show. It's about actually getting out into the community and making some efforts to reach out. There's always somewhere to reach out to.
Yes, it is. And like you said, at the event you attended, Hoops and Scoops, at the Carrie Pitt Steele home for the Carrie Pitt Steele Home Orphanage.
That's where we went.
And a lot of people don't know it's here in Atlanta, and it's one of the oldest Black-operated orphanages in the United States.
1924, I believe.
There you go. And a lot of people don't know that. And a little known fact is the event he attended was put together by SUT, which is another organization him and I are part of, who stands for Simple United Together. And what he said is service. It's a service. It's a mission of love. And that's what we do it for, like he said. Got out, played ball with these kids, ate ice cream, and they were joyful because people took time out to come spend time with them because they understand that in their circumstance, through no fault of their own, that somebody else cares enough about you to come spend time with you. And that's all it takes. Ain't no telling. The young man that ran him over may be the same man 15 years from now. They'll say, hey, Mr. Gary, here you go, brand new house. Hey, Mr. Gary, here you go, I'm going to pay for you and da-da-da, whoever else, to go on this dream vacation you always want. It only takes that one time to change somebody forever.
And that wasn't a tension run over. I was just out of shape. I'm out there on the basketball court. I grabbed the ball, and I realized I got to get in shape. And it wasn't intentional. It wasn't anything like that. But guys, I really thank you guys for stopping by tonight. Any last minute words, Real?
Well,
what was the school you went to today that you hung out at?
I went to Carver School of Art. And you know what was amazing? I was going down the hallway, and two young men walked up to me and did me like this.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, man? And then some young ladies came up to me, and they were like, when you coming back?
Mm.
And that lets me know the little time that I took with them. If I had more time, what an effect. If I take something positive, what an effect could I do? And what effect can they have on the other child? And it's just a beautiful feeling to give.
Love is the principle. Stay in love for real. Till next time on the Man Cave. Thanks, guys. Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure. Oh, will y'all come back with us?
No, I'm there.
All right.
Instead of talking about the situation and looking the other way, another soldier down. Someone we can't afford to.
When I went to the school today, I was informed the first kid